amiga, amigos. I am so happy to be here today in beautiful, sunny Cabo San Lucas. And I've had a lot of messages over the last couple of days. Couple things. Did you move there? How did you do that? I'm so jealous. I'd love to be in the sun right now. And so I thought I would come to you live today and give you the top 5 ways to live life on your terms. So I've always been a little bit of a black sheep in that I love entrepreneurship. I love working for myself. There was times in my life that I didn't know that I had the capacity to do so, and that there were times that I was terrified to do so. When I left working at a salon after 5.5 years to start my own salon, I was terrified. I had no idea how to run a business. I didn't go to university. I didn't for business. I went to school for music, and I didn't think that I had the skills. But something that I learned over time is that everything is figure outable. So I'm going to give you my top 5 ways to live life on your terms. Hey, Brittany! I just saw her at the Hard Rock Cabo, and we had the best time, man. It was so great to meet you and Mike. Okay, so number 1. If you want to live life on your terms, you have to think outside the box. You know, many of us are raised to believe that we should go to school and get good grades, that we should go to post-secondary, university or college, you know, and get a degree that will inevitably lead to a well-paying job with health care and a pension and all that kind of stuff. And then what do? We meet our partners, we get married, we have kids, we do the whole rigmarole, and we buy a house, and we do the rest of the thing, right? And then we work out the rest of our days until we're retired, except for one thing. That didn't sound like a ton of fun to me. You know, I've watched both my parents work extremely hard in their careers. Sometimes they loved it, sometimes they didn't. Sometimes it was really hard. Sometimes we had Christmases without one.
If you're learning something today and you want to learn more, click the subscribe button below, and I'd love to see you again.
Or no, never without both, but you know, and so we had moments in our life that I thought, man, I wish that they didn't have to do that. I wish they could be here with us. And so when I became a mom, I wanted to make our family a priority, and I wanted to be able to create a lifestyle that was a little bit more flexible, one that also allowed us to have adventure. Right? Hey, Deanne, how's it going? So one that also allowed us to have adventure. You know, part of the reason that we initially put Izzy in French immersion was because we wanted to go live in the south of France for 6 months, and she could, you know, speak French and go to school there, and we could do an exchange, and it'd be great, right? Like, we've always loved to travel. I think travel is one of the best ways to educate. It's one of the best ways to grow and learn and develop. So that's always been one of the things that we love. And when you think outside the box, you know, life doesn't have to go the way that everybody else thinks. You don't need to work a 9 to 5, especially right now, since the gig economy, you know, everything is shifted. And now instead of 9 to 5s and part-time jobs here and there, people are picking up micro entrepreneurships, micro enterprises, right? And one of the things that I learned over time is that we actually create our own reality, right? Where you are right now is a result of decisions that you've made and habits that you have. It's plain and simple. It's just like that. And so you actually get to create your reality. And so there are 2 kinds of mindset. There's a fixed mindset and there's a growth mindset. Fixed mindset thinks, hey, this is the way that things are. You know, this is the best it can be for me. And I'm just going to settle and live this way because it's not that bad. It's pretty good, right? Like, no, it's okay, right? A growth mindset believes that you can grow and grow and grow and learn and acquire skills and do all those things and continue to expand in your lifetime and do the things that you really love to do, or the things that come naturally to you as gifts, right? And so that growth mindset is something that you really need to hang on to. And maybe you weren't raised in a family like that. Maybe this is all completely foreign to you, but you decide. You decide the life that you live. You decide your reality. Number 2, okay, on the top 5 ways to live a life on your own terms. Number 2, look for opportunities and different ways to diversify. So right now we are in the middle of the gig economy, okay? And so everything has shifted over the last couple of years. We want to acquire different streams of income, right? Like, so often we watched our generation of our grandparents and our parents commit to, you know, 30 or 40 years of the same thing and just work really, really hard to work their way up. Well, now you can actually create different streams of income that are paying you all over the place. So maybe that's real estate. Sorry, there's a plane going overhead. Maybe that's real estate. Maybe you've got a rental and you've got residual income coming in that way. Maybe you do something like affiliate marketing. Maybe in your spare moments, you do DoorDash or Uber Eats, right? Maybe you found a way to monetize something in your life. You know, we're down here in Mexico right now, and I thought this was really interesting. The expats that come down and own places here, they also usually have vehicles. And so when they're not here, they rent out their vehicles to other people that are down here for $20 a day. I think that's really cool. Another way to utilize the assets that you already have to make money. The other thing that you can do, you know, is look into different apps, different opportunities, ask questions. If you see somebody that's out there doing something that you want to do, ask questions, right? Residual income creates time freedom. And there's so many things out there right now that you could be doing to create that kind of residual income. Another thing I thought was really interesting is they started doing this. You know how when you travel, you drop your car off at the airport and it sits there, right? It sits there, you pay for parking. Sometimes it's hundreds of dollars you're paying for. Well, now there's an app that you can download and you can actually rent out your car to somebody that's flying in. So instead of them going to a Budget or Alamo or whatever it is, you actually, or is it National? There's also National, right? Car rentals. You can actually go on the app and rent somebody else's car that's away for the week. So you're utilizing those assets, right? Some people do Airbnb, right? Maybe you have a home with a suite in it, or you want to rent out a room. You want to host people. I mean, it's one of the best way to meet people and network. Man, we've been down here for a couple of weeks now, and our neighbor is the best. Like, it was so great to connect with her. She's from the States, and she's been so great with Izzy, and we've had such great conversations. Like, the joy that other people can bring to your life and enrich it, you're missing out on those things. Number one, if you don't travel, or if you don't network, or if you don't utilize your spare time to make a difference in other people's lives, right? Okay, number 3. There are 2 types of people. I was listening to Joe Rogan yesterday with Ben Shapiro. I don't know if you know who he is, but he's a very bright, intelligent person. And he said, you know, there's 2 different types of people, and this really resonated with me. People who are willing to take risk, and those that want to mitigate risk and be taken care of. The problem is, if you are in the latter, you're living on someone else's terms, right? So you've always heard like that quote or whatever, that if you're not building your own dream or you're not building your own wealth, you're building it for somebody else, right? And so if you decide that you're going to take control of your life and live life on your own terms, you have to start thinking differently. You have to be willing to take some risk. And I'm telling you, the calculated risks that we've taken after much critical thinking, a lot of pro-con lists, a lot of discussions, some of those risks have paid us hugely throughout our lives and given us a massive leg up on everybody else because we were willing to do it. We were willing to take that risk. We were willing to grow and acquire skills, right? So many people think that they're stuck in a certain place, but one of the things that my mentor says, and I absolutely love her for it, she's like, become the person required to do the job, right? So you can educate yourself. What the beautiful part about this information era that is basically making this, living life on your terms so easy, is that you can educate yourself from anywhere. You don't have to go to university. You don't have to sit in a classroom. Actually, most people prefer to take a course from somebody who's actually out there in the real world, having success, making it work, because that's in real time. By the time you go through university and you're at the end of it, the information that you have is usually outdated, or by the time you get a really great job and you've done that for a little while, if you don't hone your skills, if you don't get better and better and better, usually you're placed out of the marketplace because somebody else is willing to do the work. Now, not everybody wants to hear that. Not everybody wants to do the work. Not everybody wants the risk. But the problem with that is that if you are living on somebody else's terms, you have to live within them. I wasn't somebody that wanted 2 weeks holiday all year, right? I was somebody that wanted to travel. I wanted to spend time with my family. I never wanted to ask permission to have time off or go to the things that I wanted. That just wasn't who I wanted to be. And hard work will create an easy life. Whereas if you always take the easy route, your life is going to be very difficult because you have to abide by everything else that's going on. Whereas if you're willing to acquire skills and become valuable to somebody else, and you're able to help other people in some sort of way using your gifts, your talents, or developing the skills that you can do to help other people, then you get to build your dream instead of somebody else's, right? So learning how to mitigate mitigate risk is okay, but it's not the thing that will get you ahead and allow you to live life on your own terms, right? You've got to be able to start thinking and outside of the box, right? That's a huge piece of this. Now, number 4, this is really, 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 really important. So don't forget this one, okay? Super important. Change your circle of influence to include people who are doing what you want to do. Change your circle of influence to include people that are doing what you want to do. You are the company that you keep. My mom has taught me that my entire life. You are the company you keep. And whether that was good or whether that was bad, you will be judged on that, right? And so if you're in a toxic work environment, if you're in an environment with all of your friends that everybody gets together and talks and gossips about other people and isn't happy in their life, isn't happy in their relationship, Ryan and I hold friendships with other couples that are in healthy relationships or in healthy, happy relationships because we don't want to be around the couples that don't treat each other well. We don't want to be around the couples that make fun of each other and are in a degrading relationship. We don't want to do that. We actually want to be around people who we admire so that we learn to communicate better, so that we have a better relationship. And when we go through hard times, who do we go to? People that we admire. Because by the way, life is not just a cakewalk. Like, there will be times in your relationship, there will be times in your business that you will fail. Things that are very, very difficult, right? But commitment to growth is something that will pull you through. It is something, that we teach our daughter. This morning she was doing beaded bracelets, right? And the first bracelet I tied too tight and it broke. So we learned not to tie them too tight. The second bracelet I didn't tie enough knots. It broke. The third bracelet I tied enough knots, but it wasn't big enough. So with every failure, we learned something. And was she frustrated? Absolutely. But I said, doll, part of failure is growth. Part of failure is learning. It's not bad. It's helping you get better. And that's what's really, really exciting. So it's changing your mindset and being around people that want to help you grow, being around people that you admire, being around people that have the financial security and growth that you want to have, right? So many people are talking about crypto and the markets right now. Get around people and learn about them, right? Ask questions. Instead of being jealous of other people's success, learn to have gratitude for them. Learn that those people can be on your side and help you succeed faster than you could ever do on your own, right? And so instead of being jealous, instead of thinking, oh man, well, good for them, I could never do that, right? Because I used to be that person until I realized that I was fully capable of living the life that I wanted to live. I just had to step up to the plate and work harder. I had to step up to the plate and learn a few new skills. I had to step up to the plate and fail forward and be willing to fail forward, because you are capable of extraordinary things beyond your belief if you just have the courage to go for it and try and try and try, right? So you have an opportunity to start surrounding yourself with people who want you to be better, who hold you to the highest regard, to expect the best out of you. If you do that, your life will infinitely change for the better. And I promise you that. Are there friends that I've had to leave behind? Absolutely. Are there people that are stuck in their ways and aren't open to growth? 100%. But I'm telling you, when you're open to pivoting and looking for a solution and seeing the silver lining even when things are difficult and finding a way to find your peace even in the chaos, anything is possible for you. Now, number 5, this also is something that it can be challenging, especially if you're not in a good place mentally. And I'm telling you, I've had my struggles. I've struggled with PTSD. I've had postpartum depression. I definitely was not doing great earlier this year with everything that was happening in the world. And we had to make a decision to do something different, right? So that's part of the reason why we landed here in Cabo. It has been such a blessing. As soon as we landed, the anxiety and the pit in my stomach dissipated. And this is where I needed to be. And it just, everything made sense, And so number 5 is take daily action. Now, what does that mean? Even if it's tiny little steps, I'm going to give you an example. If you've been thinking about your dream car, okay, I was dreaming of my Jeep since I was 16. I wanted that Jeep so badly, but I also have a rule that I only pay cash for cars. I don't want to lease. I want to pay my car and own my car outright. Well, to buy a brand new Jeep is quite a pricey endeavor, okay? And so I didn't really think that that was possible for me. I never thought that that would be my life. I never thought that I'd be able to do that. But when you start taking daily action, like how much does it cost? What are the features you want? What color do you want? You can actually start to come up with a plan to save for what you want. Maybe you want to go on vacation. Maybe you want to live somewhere else in the world. You want to try something else and you want to do something crazy. You want to go live somewhere for a year and you've always dreamed of that. Guess what? You only get one life. It's already November this year. I don't even know how it got to be November, but time passes so quickly. It passes so quickly that if you don't take daily action, even just a little research, right? Even just looking around, it will never, ever, ever happen. So you have to come up with a plan. And I often reverse engineer my dreams. So what I mean by that is I think of something that I want, and then I think, how would I get that? What could we do to get that? Do I need to sell something? Do I need to acquire a skill? Do I need to make more money? Do I need some freedom of time? What is it that I need to come up with a plan so that I can move forward? Take little tiny daily action steps. Now, the lifestyle that we have now, right, being able to pack up, move our little family to Cabo for a few months for the winter, take a little break from the crazy and just be able to enjoy life as it should be, that was something we dreamed about 10 years ago. We only started taking action on it 5 years ago, and we probably could have done it sooner, but it didn't make sense then. It makes sense now. And so we took advantage of what we worked so hard for, and we had the courage to mitigate risk and take risk. We had the courage to have conversations that were difficult. We had the courage to take action and be brave and do something different than most people would do. But it's created the life that we've always wanted. And the reason that I wanted to do this video is because after all the messages about, hey, how did you guys get there? Oh my God, you're in Cabo. I want to live there. I want to do that. I'm so jealous. How can we do that? I wanted to share with you. These are the top 5 ways that we've come up with to be able to create the life that we wanted to create. And I have to tell you, and I know not everybody wants to hear this, but no one is coming to save you. Nobody is going to instantly sweep you up. I mean, maybe you'll be lucky enough to have some sort of inheritance, right? And at some point in your life, you'll be able to do the things you want to do, buy the things you want to buy. I don't know. I know that that's not a reality for me. So I had to create my own wealth. I had to create my own time freedom. And no one is coming to save me. So I had to learn how to save myself. I had to learn to create the life that I wanted to create. And now I get to help other people do that. Now I get to show them and lead by example. And say, hey, if you want to do this too, I can show you how. I can point you in the right direction. I can answer your questions. I can get you there faster than trial and error because, man, I failed forward. You got to be okay with failure. I remember somebody saying to me the other day, wow, I'm so nervous to do a live video. I don't know if that's anything that I could ever do. Well, number 1, you never have to do anything you don't want to do. Number 2, if you want something bad enough, you'll learn how to do it. And my first few live videos were horrible, like absolutely horrible. I actually had a guy a year in to me doing live videos consistently message me and said, oh my gosh, I just caught one of your lives. They're so much better when you started. Like, I didn't think you were going to make it. And I was like, well, thank you for the backhanded compliment. But it's true. You have to work hard. You have to work hard and learn how to communicate with people. Learning how to communicate with people is one of the most important life skills that you will ever have. Learning how to set goals that with small, tiny action steps daily so that you don't get discouraged, that is the second most important skill that you will ever have. And so if you don't know how to do those things, ask. I'm more than happy to help you because I want to help people live life like this too. And maybe your dream is not living in Cabo. Maybe it's living in Iceland. Maybe it's buying a penthouse in the city and living in the middle of a city and loving the energy of the city. Maybe it's living on the beach. I don't know. But whatever that is, you have the ability to create it. And if you don't know how, find someone to help you because you don't have to go it alone. And the more time you waste thinking about it and not taking action, the less time you will have in your life to have the experiences that you've always dreamed of. Time will pass so fast, and you don't know when your end date is. I don't know. Mine could be tomorrow. Mine could be in 5 years. It could be in 6 months. All I know is if I live in alignment with what I want and who I am, the joy that I have in my heart, the example that I'm setting for my daughter so that she knows that she can create whatever she wants, that's what matters to me. And I hope it matters to you too. So I hope that was helpful. The top 5 ways to live life on your own terms. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I'm more than happy to help, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.
If you think this video can help a friend, make sure you share it.